Today, I would like to give my brief commentary on some very interesting news that I saw posted all over Ukrainian media a couple of days ago, but which, interestingly enough, did not gain much traction in either the Russian media and was pretty much not reported at all, as far as I'm aware, in any English language media. This news first came out about a week ago, and it concerns these Revolver-860 drones that you can see on the screen right now. This is a military drone, a combat UAV, which was developed and produced by the Taiwanese manufacturer Drone Vision. And the government of Taiwan is currently in the process of sending 800 of these drones to Ukraine, a number of which have already reached the front lines. Now, this is not a small drone. It has been described by various media outlets as a flying mortar, which is essentially what it is. It weighs around 42 kilograms, and it is able to carry up to 8 60mm mortar mines at a time. It is also important to note that the drone can be modified to carry 82mm as well as 120mm mortar shells as well. The big idea behind this drone is that it can be loaded with these mortar shells and then sent to fly over enemy positions and to basically drop these mortar shells accurately right on top of the enemy's positions. As far as the technical specifications of this drone go, we don't really know all that much. We do know that it is able to fly up to a range of around 20 kilometers, which is not very much. It leads me to believe that this drone is not powered by any sort of diesel engine, but more likely by a lithium-ion battery. And we also know that it is able to hover or to move for around 40 minutes before having to presumably change batteries. We're also told that the top speed of this drone is about 50 kilometers an hour, and that's about all we know. Now, going off of all of this information, it's very hard to gauge exactly how capable this drone is going to be in combat, since we don't really have any information, or at least I couldn't find any information on the data link that this drone uses, on the types of cameras that it uses. Does it use high-resolution optical cameras or a combination of optical and thermal cameras? We simply do not know. With that said, I think that we can say with some confidence that this drone is obviously not going to change the course of the war. And I'm even going to say a little bit more than that. I'm going to also mention that I don't believe that this drone is going to be the next wonder weapon in this war. It's not going to be the next M777, it's not going to be the next HIMARS, the next Javelin, NLAW, Bayraktar, or any of these other weapons which have been hyped up to no end, although admittedly in some cases not completely undeservingly by the mainstream media. What I think is very interesting about this news, perhaps more interesting than its direct military implications in Ukraine, are the political implications. Taiwan is sending 800 of these drones to Ukraine. That is a massive number. And as I mentioned previously, these are not small drones. And I can only presume that the cumulative cost of this one weapons delivery of these 800 drones is somewhere in the tens of millions of dollars. And isn't it interesting that of all places in the world, it is Taiwan, a place which has its own impending military confrontation that it should be worried about, a place that, unlike Ukraine, cannot be supplied with weapons in the event of a war because the PLA would simply enact a naval blockade around the island, and a territory that should presumably be worried about the decreasing living standards of its own people, about record high inflation, and the ongoing economic confrontation with the mainland, which has basically been renewed since August of this year. Isn't it interesting that this is the territory/government which is joining the hysteria of the collective West, with regards to sending as many weapons to Ukraine, and is now sending all of these drones? Well, to put it frankly, I think that due to events that took place earlier this month, it is now only a matter of time until we get a military confrontation between mainland China and Taiwan. And Taiwan sending 800 of these drones to Ukraine simply means that they won't be able to use them against the PLA. And perhaps this weapons delivery may also mean that Taiwan is not expecting an amphibious invasion after all. Perhaps the calculus is that when the smash comes, it will be primarily a naval and an aerial war. After all, these drones are only designed for land-based operations. They would be useless in any sort of aerial or naval confrontation. And of course, another thing that this rather massive weapons delivery indicates is that Taiwan has now fully dedicated itself to essentially towing the political line that is being drawn up by the United States of America. This has been the trend for quite some time. I believe that the events of the first half of August in this year have greatly emboldened the pro-American powers in Taiwan and also the American government. And all of this, most likely sooner rather than later, will come to an inevitable smash in the Taiwan Straits. So that is it for today. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that you enjoyed my commentary. Please leave your thoughts in the comments. And also, please be sure to check out my other channels, primarily my Telegram channel, where I regularly make posts about various topics that are not discussed on YouTube. All links will be in the video description. With that said, I conclude this video, and I hope that you have a wonderful day.